Welcome everybody to the 12th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. We started this chapter last class and we covered one shloka. This is a very important chapter and it is the conclusion or the concluding chapter of the Madhyama Shatkam, which is the middle 6 chapters of the Bhagavad Gita. And it is essence of this portion which is on bhakti and on the nature of Ishvara. Okay, and if you encounter any problems with my audio or the video quality, just let me know and I can do something. So feel free to interrupt me. Okay, so as usual, we would like to acknowledge Swami Paramarthananda Saraswati for the traditional rendering of Vedanta as it was done for over 1,000 years, starting with Adi Shankaracharya. We'll say a small prayer to acknowledge the gurus before us. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Sada Shiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Partyantam Vande Guru Paramparam. Salutations to the lineage starting with Lord Sadashiva, with Adi Shankaracharya in the middle, and continuing up to our immediate teacher, Swami Paramarthananda Saraswati. So, this chapter, as I already mentioned, it's the concluding chapter in the Madhyama Shatkam. Madhyama Shatkam is the middle 6 chapters of the Bhagavad Gita. And it is a short chapter consisting of only 20 verses, but it contains the essence of the Vedas and it removes a lot of confusions regarding bhakti. Bhakti yoga is not a separate sadhana, but it covers aspects of both karma and jnana yoga. So in the second chapter, Bhagavan says there are two paths. Not two paths. The sadhanas are of two kinds. One is the karma yoga and the other is the jnana yoga. Karma yoga is like elementary school. It is the basic preparation to cleanse the mind so the mind becomes steady to perceive higher knowledge. If the mind is so unsteady and disturbed, then there is no way one can perceive higher things like God and one's inner nature. So karma yoga is the elementary school. It's like the elementary school for preparation. Then jnana yoga is like the high school. In order to graduate, you have to go through high school. So jnana yoga is like the high school. And bhakti yoga consists of a lot of sadhanas or practices that encompass both karma yoga and jnana yoga. So bhakti straddles both karma and jnana yoga. And bhakti consists of various sadhanas in these two. The highest form of bhakti is jnana or knowledge. So this is just like meditation. Meditation can straddle both karma yoga and jnana yoga. So in scriptures, so Bhagavan in the second chapter, he says that the spiritual practices, there are of two kinds. So in the 39th shloka of the second chapter, he says, Esha te bihita sankye bhutya yoge tvimam shrunu bhutya yukto yaya pata karma bandham prahasyasi. I have so far told you the wisdom of Sankhya, knowledge of the Atma. Now listen to the wisdom of yoga, that is karma yoga, with which you can get rid of the bondage of karma. So Bhagavan simplifies initially Arjuna, because Arjuna doesn't know, he simplifies all the sadhanas into karma yoga and jnana yoga. But in scriptures, they give a little more. It's like instead of 2 steps, they give a little more finer gradation. They say, okay, we'll split the karma yoga into 2 parts. We'll call it karma yoga and upasana yoga. So karma is all the extroverted activities. Upasana is you're going inward. After pratyahara, that is you're turning inward, starting to meditate. And the meditation itself, it can be upasana or meditating an object, the initial preparation. And once the mind is very settled, Then you have the Vedantic meditation, which is called Nididhyasana, which is the knowing. Your mind is like a torchlight which you can wield to shine light anywhere you want. And then you shine light on the nature of the self. That is called Nididhyasana. So scriptures divide it into three kinds: Karma Yoga, Upasana Yoga, and Jnana Yoga. It's all how finely you refine it. And now, in this chapter, Bhagavan, from the point of view of Bhakti, just from the point of view of Bhakti, Bhagavan does a more finer gradation. What does he do? All the Bhakti related activities. So that is devotional. Since we said that Bhakti encompasses both these, now he says you can divide the Bhakti activities into even finer steps. So he divides into 5 portions. Remember, Jnana Yoga, there's no change. But Karma Yoga, Bhakti, or Karma Yoga, Lakshana Bhakti, the devotion which has the quality of Karma Yoga. Upasana Yoga Lakshana Bhakti, the Bhakti which has the quality of meditation. So he divides the Karma Yoga Bhakti itself into 2 portions, and the Upasana Yoga Bhakti itself into 2 portions. Karma Yoga is extroversion, Upasana is introversion. So you go from being extrovert, you go and become introvert. Okay. So this is how the 5 gradations are done. Karma Yoga Lakshana Bhakti are first selfish desires, sakama karmas, accommodates materialistic people. That is, people go to worship to God because they're afflicted with a disease, or they want to get promoted at work, or they want their child to get into a good college. All these are valid. Bhagavan doesn't dismiss, but it has a selfish desire. It is for fulfilling my desires. It can be a valid desire, like improving your health. Then the second level is less selfish desires. I want to get enlightened. I want to worship God because I want my mind to calm down and not be affected by the turbulence in the world. That is Nishkama Karma. So it is the second level, Karma Yoga Lakshana Bhakti level 2. Then you become more finer, Upasana Lakshana Bhakti level 1. Ekarupa Ishvara Dhyanam. Then you start meditating on God, or you chant or pray to one form of God. That is your favorite God, Rama, Krishna, whatever. Then Upasana Lakshana Bhakti level 2, which is Anekarupa Ishvara Dhyanam. Then this is the cosmic form of God. Then you start understanding, oh, how the entire universe is manifested, or God is manifested as the entire universe. That is the Upasana Lakshana Bhakti level 2. And finally is Jnana Yoga Lakshana Bhakti, which is the nature of yourself. That is Jnana Yoga Lakshana Bhakti. There, if you can see, there is no division. Jnana Yoga stands separately. Highest form of Bhakti. It's called Nididhyasana. So there are only 2 topics in the 12th chapter, Bhakti Yoga and the qualities of a great devotee, Parabhakta, great devotee, Parabhakta, Lakshanani, qualities. Lakshana means qualities. So we saw the first shloka, the Arjuna asks this question of those devotees who are ever steadfast meditating on you, and then of those who meditate on the imperishable unmanifest, who is the better versed? So he is asking about this Vishwarupa Darshana Bhaktas. So he's just gone through Vishwarupa Darshanam. So here this Evam Satata Yukta, those who worship you, means worship you as the cosmic form, and those who worship the Nirguna Brahman, who are the better? Now we saw that Arjuna's question itself is not valid, because the reason is that there are 2 inconsistencies. The first inconsistency is he has seen Vishwarupa Darshanam. So he thought Nirguna Ishvara meditation or bhakti or meditating on the Nirguna Ishvara. Nirguna means without qualities. This is the Brahman. Nirguna Ishvara is Brahman. He thinks that you can meditate on this Brahman. But how can you meditate on something which has no form, which by definition is avyaktam, avyaktam and aprameyam, incomprehensible. How can you meditate on something that's incomprehensible? So Arjuna's question itself makes no sense. So Nirguna Ishvara cannot be meditated upon. This is inconsistency one. The second inconsistency is Arjuna is comparing Saguna Ishvara Upasana to Nirguna Ishvara Dhyanam. So it's like comparing the elementary school or the middle school, in this case a middle school, to high school. Can you say one is important and one is not? No, you have to go through middle school to come to high school. So he's comparing the means and the end. The end, when you graduate from high school. That's the end. So he's comparing two things which doesn't make sense. And Bhagavan gives a very beautiful response. He doesn't put Arjuna down and say, Arjuna, you've not understood anything. He doesn't say that. He gives a very nuanced, politically correct answer. So we will see the second shloka. Shri Bhagavanuvacha Maya Veshya Mano Ye Mam Nitya Yukta Upasate Shraddaya Parayo Petaha Te Me Yukta Tamamataha. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha. Bhagavan said, Uvacha means said, Mai Aveshya Mano Ye Mam. That is, Mai Mana Aveshya. Ye means those. Mai Mana Aveshya means those who fixing their minds on me, then Paraya Shraddaya Upetaha. So, Shraddaya Paraya Upetaha. So, Paraya means supreme, Para means supreme, Shraddaya Upetaha means endowed with supreme faith, those who fixing their minds on me and endowed with supreme faith, Nitya Yukta Upasate. So Nitya Yukta Upasate means worship me ever steadfast. Yukta means, I've said many times, the word yoga also comes from the word yuj. The English word yoke also comes from the same Sanskrit root. So Yuktaha means yoked. So, or here the meaning is steadfast. Nitya Yukta Upasate means worship me ever steadfast. Te me mataha yukta uttamaha. Te me mataha, they are considered by me to be yukta uttama. Yukta also means yogis here. Yuktaha means yogis, the yoked ones. Who are the yoked ones? They are the yogis who are so firm in their faith. So, uttama yuktaha, the greatest yogis. So, these people who fixing their minds on me, endowed with supreme faith, worship me in a steadfast manner, they, in my opinion, are the greatest yogis. So it may look like what is Bhagavan is giving a wishy-washy statement. He's saying those who are fixing their minds on me with supreme faith, worship me, they are the greatest yogis. So Arjuna is asking the question is Saguna Bhakti, worship of God with attributes, in this case attributes of the universe, or the Nirguna Bhakti, worship of unmanifested God, Brahman. Which is the better? Real answer is the question is wrong, right? But Bhagavan is not putting him down. He's giving a very nuanced answer. Now Bhagavan knows that there is a hidden motive behind Arjuna's question. Arjuna wants Krishna to say, Nirguna Ishvara Upasana, or the pursuit of knowledge, is better. So then he can run away to escape to sannyasa and say, because sannyasa is predominantly meditating and understanding the nature of yourself. It's predominantly the pursuit of knowledge, very less actions. So Arjuna always keeps asking the same question. In beginning of every chapter, in the third chapter, in the fifth chapter, in the sixth chapter, he asks the same question over and over again. So in the third chapter, he says, Jayasi chet karmanaste matha buddhir janatana tat kim karpani gore mam niyojayasi keshava. Of the two, you are asking me to do this gory task of killing these people, then you glorify knowledge. Why are you confusing me like this? He asks. So he keeps asking this in the 5th chapter also. Arjuna uvacha sanyasam karmanam Krishna punadyogam cha samshasi yachreya etayor ekam tanme bruhi sunishchitam. You're saying renunciation of actions is great. Then you're saying karma yoga is great. Renouncing on actions, doing actions. You're saying this is great one time, you're saying this is great another time. Tell me which is the best. So he keeps asking these questions again and again. Okay. So Arjuna, Bhagavan knows. So Bhagavan, without hurting the students' feelings, he gives a very diplomatic reply in shlokas 2 to 4. Arjuna's question itself is wrong, right? Saguna, so Krishna gives these nuanced answers. Saguna bhaktas are superior and nirguna bhaktas attain me. See what he's saying. Saguna bhaktas, those who worship the Vishwarupa form or the Ekarupa Ishvara form. Saguna means with attributes. Who with attributes means it is as Rama, Krishna with attributes, or as the entire universe. We saw, right, the 3 forms of bhakti. Ekarupa Ishvara bhakti, Vishwarupa Ishvara bhakti, or Aneka Rupa Ishvara bhakti, as the entire God, as the entire cosmos. And third one is Nirguna Ishvara bhakti, that is as Brahman, the one without attributes. So here Krishna is saying Saguna bhaktas are superior and Nirguna bhaktas attain me. So the second part, see, he's saying Saguna bhaktas are superior in this shloka. Those who are fixing their minds on me here means God with the form as universe or Ekarupa Ishvara, they are the greatest yogis. So he's saying Saguna bhaktas are superior. In next shlokas, he's going to say Nirguna bhaktas attain me. And Krishna does not compare a jnani and a karma yogi, because jnana is the end goal. Karma yoga is the means to attaining the knowledge. So Krishna says that normal people engaged in actions, the karma yogis are the greatest yogis. That is the nuanced way of attaining it. He does not compare. He does not say karma yogis are better, or jnana yogis are better. He doesn't say that. He says of normal people who are engaged in actions, karma yogis are the greatest people. No questions about that. And he says the jnanis, they attain me. So he's going to do that in the next 2 shlokas are combined together. Ye paksharamanityeshyam avyaktam paryupasate sarpatragamachintyam cha kutastam achalam dhrupam samniyam yendriyakramam sarpatra samabhuddayah te prapnuvanti mameva sarvabhuta hite ratah. So here Bhagavan is giving a very nuanced answer. But those who meditate on the imperishable, yetu aksharam. Aksharam means, sharam means destroy. Aksharam means imperishable. Yetu, those who, aksharam anirdeshyam. Desha means that a place. Anirdeshyam means which cannot be placeable. You can't place it in this category. You can't place it in this category. So anirdeshyam means not placeable or not definable. So those who meditate on this Brahman is imperishable, undefinable, anirdeshyam, avyaktam, unmanifest. It has no form. That's why it's called saguna and nirguna. It's no qualities to define it. Paryupasate means those who meditate. Upasana is meditation, those who meditate. And he adds more. Sarvatragam, and it is all pervading. Sarvatragam means sarva, everywhere pervading. Achintyam, incomprehensible. Chinta means to think. Achintyam means incomprehensible, unthinkable. Kutastham, unchangeable. Achalam, immovable. Dhruvam means it is fixed, or just like that, steady, eternal. It's like that. No change at all. Eternally, it's there. So these are the qualities he's giving for the Nirguna Brahman. And the word upasana, so paryupasate means who are strongly meditating. Upa plus asana. Upa means near, asana means sit. So Shankaracharya gives this definition. Upasana, it means sitting near. Sitting near what? Near the object of meditation. And what is that object of meditation? In this case, the object of meditation is Aham Brahmasmi, that this Brahman. How do you get to know the entire ocean? How do you get to know the water in the entire ocean? By studying the water in a small wave. Okay, the wave and the ocean analogy. The wave is nothing but water. By just studying the water in a small portion, you get to understand it's the same water everywhere. You get to understand the nature of the ocean. So that is what Bhagavan is meaning here. Then Bhagavan adds more. He says, Tanyemyendriya Gramam. Okay, so he gives qualities. So here he is giving 3 qualities of the spiritual aspirant. This is the qualification of Jnana Yoga or Nirguna Ishvara Dhyanam. These are the qualifications for understanding the knowledge, right? And which is supposed to be, so Nirguna Ishvara Dhyanam is supposed to be the highest level of bhakti on the unmanifested Nirguna Brahman. And those people who have these qualifications, they are called Jnana Yogyataha. They are fit for the study of Jnanam. So he gives 3 qualifications. What are the 3 qualifications? Indriya Gramam Sanniyamya. Sanniyamyendriya Gramam. Having restrained the sense organs. Indriya Gramam. Gramam means a village in general. Here it doesn't mean a village. It means the whole bunch of senses. A village of people like that. Indriya Gramam means the whole bunch of all the sense organs. Samniyamya. Niyama is like restrained. Totally restrain all the sense organs. Then second qualification is before that. Okay, first qualification, Indriya Gramam Samniyamya, right? And why is he saying that? What he's meaning is that you cannot be extroverted when you're trying to understand the Nirguna Brahman, because you're turning inward. So that's why he gives this first. We are not objectifying anything. My sense organs cannot afford to be extrovert. Extroverted sense organs will dwell upon objects and get carried away by the objects. So you have to dwell upon I, the subject, on your own nature. When you meditate, slowly you will see thoughts coming in the mind and going away. Thoughts coming, going away. Then you will see there's something that is observing the thoughts. Then you will start focusing. The mind turns inward and starts to focus on this observer. That is what is talked about here. Okay. Then the second qualification, Sarvatra Samabuddhayaha, being even-minded everywhere. So maintaining equanimity under all circumstances, Sarvatra, everywhere. Samabuddhi means equanimous mind. Then, and the third qualification is Sarva Bhuta Hite Rataha. Those who take rati is delight. Rataha means those who take delight in what? Sarva Bhuta Hitam means welfare. Sarva Bhuta Hitam means in the welfare of all beings. Sarva Bhutam, Bhutam means beings. Sarva Bhuta means all beings. Those who delight in the welfare of all beings, they prapnuvanti mameva. They obtain me alone. Apnoti means to obtain. They prapnuvanti means they certainly attain me alone. Having restrained the sense organs, being even-minded everywhere, those who take delight in the welfare of all beings, they obtain me alone. So, Bhagavan, to put this fully, those who meditate on this imperishable, undefinable, unmanifest, all-pervading, incomprehensible, unchangeable, immovable, eternal, having restrained the sense organs, being even-minded everywhere, they who take delight in the welfare of all beings, they obtain me alone. So he first defines this Brahman, the qualities of the Brahman, and then Bhagavan defines the qualifications of these people who meditate on this Nirguna Brahman. So very important. This is like the core of Vedas. Brahman is described. You see, everything here is a negation. Imperishable, undefinable, unmanifest, incomprehensible, unchangeable, immovable. Look at all the words. It is done by negation. So it is called, this procedure that Shankaracharya uses is called neti neti. So Brahman is not this, Brahman is not this. He keeps going ad infinitum. So it is not this. So Brahman is described because it has no qualities. The only way to describe Brahman is through negation. Avyaktam, that which is not manifest. Vyaktam means manifest. Avyaktam means not manifest. Not perceptible by any sense organ. Sabda, sparsha, rupa, rasa, gandha, sound, touch, eyes, rupam, form, eyes, rasam, taste, gandha, smell. So in indriya gocharam, so all the sense organs cannot perceive it. Ideas can be conceived by the mind. So Krishna uses the word achintyam, those that which cannot be conceived by the mind. You cannot manogocharam, agocharam. It cannot be described in words. Say 1,000 heads, even if you can visualize. So that's how it's achintyam, because it cannot be described in words. Even you can describe 1,000 heads, but this is much more than that. Anirdeshyam, indescribable by words. So you cannot place it. It is undefinable. It cannot be cognized by senses, the mind described by words. So all these together is called aprameyaha, something which is undefinable totally. So these three things together, it's called aprameyaha. You cannot define it by senses, by the mind, by words. So together these are called aprameyaha. Prameyam is the object of perception. Aprameya is unperceptible. Aksharam, not subject to decay. And then he uses several other terms. Sarvagataha, all pervading. Kutastam, free from modifications. Body's modifications we'll see in the next slide. Our body modifies, but this is kutastam, which is free from modification. So you see, everything is negation. It is not subject to decay. It's free from modification. Achalam, immovable, like space. Dhruvam, eternally steady. So kuta, that word kuta means anvil. Like the blacksmith's anvil, it is free from modifications. Even if you keep hitting things on the anvil, like the blacksmith's anvil, the anvil will change, but the metal will change, but the anvil doesn't change. Okay. The body is called, so the word sharam here, aksharam, right? The sharam, body is called shariram because it is subject to decay. You think that shariram is a beautiful word? No, sharira means, so that is the importance given. It's a very important point. This is the importance given to the body in yoga and in Sanatana Dharma, in the Vedanta. Body has just two purposes. The body is used for experiencing the world, and the body is the goal for liberation. It is only from the human birth that you can get liberated. In all other births, this is what's said in Vedanta. human birth is so important. It's such a blessing to get a human birth, because from the human birth you can get liberation. Bhoga apavargartam drishyam. You'll see that in the Yoga Sutras. It says that. So the body is used for experiencing and for apavarga, liberation. So body is called shariram because it is subject to decay. Shariram is not a beautiful word. It means the one that decays. And sixfold, we saw kutastam, right? Free from modification. Body modifies. Don't associate the Atma with the body. 6 modifications of the physical body. This is quoted very often. Important to know. Asti, it is potentially existent in seed form initially, right? Then asti means potentially existent. Jayate, it is born. Vartate, it grows. Viparinamate, Viparinamate means it metamorphoses, it changes from youthful person, and the skin wrinkles, so it changes. Shiyate, it declines, decays, it becomes very old and decrepit. And vinashyati, it dies. These are the 6 modifications of the physical body. Now, Bhagavan, he says, those who worship the undefinable, who gives all these terms, right? Now, the question is, how do you meditate on the Nirguna Ishvara? We've seen that again and again. So, quiz question. Anybody wants to answer this? How do you meditate on this Nirguna Ishvara?
By meditating on the self.
Yes, excellent. Very good. This is the most important thing. Nirguna Ishvara is not objectified. And if such a Ishvara exists, the Lord can exist only in one way. There's only one thing in the creation which is unobjectifiable. There's only one thing which exists in an unobjectifiable manner, yet you know it exists, and you cannot see it with your eyes, with X-ray telescopes, with special cameras. You can see everything other than this one thing. And what is that one thing? That is the subject I alone. You can observe, like you can observe everything, right? You cannot observe yourself. So the unobservable principle is the observer alone. So to know the observer, you have to still your mind, and then you turn the mind inward and you see the witness. So that is meditation on the Nirguna Ishvara. To get to that stage, your mind has to be very still. That is why Karma Yoga is important and Upasana Yoga is important to get to this Nididhyasana. So in the 6th chapter also it says that control of all senses, even-minded everywhere, delighting in the welfare of all beings. So it's said over and over again. Meditation on Nirguna Ishvara is nothing but meditation on the Atma. It is like meditating on the ocean. What's the ocean? Ocean is just water, right? It's like all the different places, everything is there. It can be cold, warm, but it is essentially this water. So when you meditate on this little amount of water, then it's the same thing. The whole pervading thing is the same. So we've seen the first rung. So there are 5 rungs. Remember, Bhagavan split all the sadhanas, karma, jnana, yoga. He's split it into 5 for easy steps. You can't take a big step. For people who can't take a big step, Bhagavan has made little steps. So 5, you have 5 rungs in the ladder. The top rung of the ladder, highest level, Jnana Yoga or Nirguna Ishvara Vichara, inquiry into the nature of the formless God, that is the Brahman. So that we've covered so far. And then Bhagavan says, it is difficult, yes, for the unprepared. So he says, Klesho dikatarastesham avyakta sakta chetasam avyakta hi gatir dukkam dehapadhiravapyate. Kleshaha adhikatara tesham. For those, the difficulty is more. Kleshaha means difficulty here. Klesha also means impurities. Here it means difficulty. Adhikataraha, it's much more. Tesham, for those for whom avyakta sakta chetasam, whose mind is set on the pursuit of the unmanifested. Why? Why is that? Because avyakta hi gatir dukkham, the goal. Gatihi means goal. Avyaktaha means for the goal of the unmanifested is very difficult. And why is that? Bhagavan qualifies. He just doesn't just say it is avyakta, the worship of the unmanifested is difficult. He doesn't say. He qualifies it. Dehavat devihi avapyate. Those who identified with the deham, the body, for them the goal is very difficult. Why is Bhagavan saying that? Because previously he has said Nirguna in the 9th chapter. If you see the 2nd shloka itself, Bhagavan says 9th chapter is what? Essentially, it is Nirguna Ishvara, the nature of Nirguna Ishvara. In the 7th chapter is both Saguna and Nirguna, Para Prakriti and Apara Prakriti. Para Prakriti is Nirguna Brahman, Apara Prakriti is all the material aspects of Saguna Ishvara. So he says, Raja Vidya Raja Guhyam Pavitramidam Uttamam Pratyakshabagamam Dharmyam Susukam Kartum Avyayam. So this can cause confusion, right? Previously, Bhagavan here he has said, Susukam Kartum Avyayam. So it is very easy to accomplish. Raja Vidya Raja Guhyam. He calls it the king of knowledge, king of secrets. Pavitram, it's very sacred. Uttamam, it's the highest form of highest secret, highest knowledge. Pratyakshaavagamam dharmyam, it is direct realizing. Pratyakshaavagamam dharma, this dharma is direct. Susukam kartum avyayam, very easy. So he previously says it's very easy, and now he says Kleshaha adhikatarastesham avyakta sakta chetasam. The difficulty is more for those whose minds are set on the unmanifest. But there's a qualification. It is only difficult for those who identify with the body. But those who are jnanis, who know that they are not the body, for them it's easy. You understand? So but you have to interpret it very carefully, because Bhagavan can seem like he's saying one thing here and another thing in another place, but he's qualified it. Dehavat bihi avapyate. Devahavat bihi means for the those who identified with the body. So Krishna says the biggest difficulty is deha abhimanaha. Those who think that I am the body, for them it's very difficult to identify with the Nirguna Brahman. So some commentators, dehavat bihi means they interpret dehavat quite literally as the embodied, or those who have a body. This is the wrong interpretation, because the purpose of the body is to provide experience and moksha. Prakasha kriya stitishilam bhutendriyatmakam bhoga vapa apavargatam drishyam. The Yoga Sutras, it says the purpose of the body, how to define Prakriti is defined this way. Prakasha kriya stitihi, sattvam, rajas, tamaha, these 3 gunas. The body consists of the 3 gunas, the body and the mind. And bhuta indriyatmakam, it consists of matter and the senses, and its purpose is bhoga and apavarga, to experience the world and for liberation. So the body is not a curse, it is actually a tool for liberation. Okay, so some people interpret, Swamiji says, some people interpret as those who have a body. No, it is, you have to, they have a bihi means you have to identify, you have to interpret it as those who identify with the body. So Nirguna Dhyanam is extremely difficult practice for whom? For the Dehavat Bihi, for the ordinary people, normal people who identify with the body. Is it clear? It's a very important point. Yeah. So Nirguna Dhyanam consists of 3 disciplines. First, Shravanam, listening to the scriptures. Shankaracharya says this over and over again. Listening to the scriptures, Mananam, understanding it intellectually, and Nididhyasanam. This is internalize and embody this knowledge. This is where meditation becomes very important. Okay, now continuing on. So now Bhagavan makes a statement. Yes, it is difficult for majority of the people. That is why for majority of the people, I have these other steps. Now remember, this is the ultimate jnani. Eventually to get liberation, you have to come here. But for those who are not ready, I'll give the smaller steps so they can advance gradually. Ye tu sarpani karmani mayi sanjasya matpara ananyenaiva yogena mam dhyayanta upasate teshamaham samuddarta mrityu samsara sagarat Bhavami nachirat pata maya veshita chetasam. So these 2 shlokas go together. That's why it's one full sentence, so it goes together. Okay. Yetu sarvani karmani mai samyamya. But those who worship me by meditating on me with a single-minded practice of yoga, here yoga means meditation, offering all actions onto me and considering me as the supreme goal. So it continues. So what is this? All this is Saguna Ishvara Upasana, meditation on God with attributes. So what are all this? Sarvani Karmani, Mayi Sanyasya, offering all actions onto me. Sarvani Karmani means all actions. Mayi Sanyasya, Sanyasa means renounce. Renouncing all actions, offering all actions onto me. Matparaha, with considering me as the supreme. What supreme? Here, supreme goal. Okay, it's not provided. You have to add that supreme goal. Ananyenaiva yogena, with a single-minded practice of yoga, not thinking about anything. One single focus. So Bahushakasya Anantasya Buddhir Abhyavasayinam. In the 2nd chapter, Bhagavan describes Vyavasayatmika Buddhihi. The Vyavasayatmika is like a business minded. Like Vyavasaya means business. Vyavasayatmika means a person who's business minded, which like single focused, only one goal. That is the pursuit of Bhagavan. Single minded practice of yoga, meditation. And considering me, those who worship me by meditating on me, dhyayanta upasate, by worship me by meditating on me. So in the 6th, 7th, and 8th verses, Krishna is coming one step lower from the 5th step, that is the highest jnana yoga. It's coming to the 4th step of the ladder. So if Nirguna Ishvara Jnanam is difficult for you, come down to Saguna Ishvara Upasana in the cosmic form. Meditation upon Ishvara with attributes. See, here he doesn't really say cosmic form, but we've divided Saguna Ishvara into 2 types. One, Saguna Ishvara is the Lord as the entire universe, Vishwarupa Ishvara. Other one is the Ishvara with like Rama, Krishna with form. Okay. Here he doesn't exactly say that, so you can identify as whatever you want, but later we will see the difference. And what happens to those who worship me in such a form? Teshamaham samuddarta mrityu samsara sagarat. Samuddarta means liberator or savior. For Tesham aham, for them, I become what? I become aham samuttarta. I become samuttartaha. I become the liberator or the savior. Savior from what? Mrityu samsara sagarat. From the ocean of samsara. What kind of samsara? Mrityu samsara, which is fraught with death. I become the liberator. Bhavami nachirat partha. I become, bhava means I become. Nachirat means very quickly. Partha, Maya Veshita Chetasam, those who Mayi Aveshita Chetasam, whose minds are absorbed in me, before long, very quickly, I become the liberator from the ocean of samsara, which is fraught with death. So for them whose minds are absorbed in me, before long, very quickly, I become the liberator from the ocean of samsara, which is fraught with death. Okay, so he's coming down to the second rung of the ladder. If Nirguna Ishvara Jnanam is difficult, come down to Saguna Ishvara Upasana. This will purify the mind for knowledge. You can't escape Jnanam for moksha, you will get there. So in the 6th chapter, he says that quite often. So Saguna Ishvara consists of two forms, Ekarupa Ishvara, so that he will say in Shloka 9. Here it is implied that this is Anekarupa Ishvara, Shloka 6, 7, and 8. So here he explicitly doesn't say whether it is Anek, he just says those who worship on me. That's all he says. Etu sarvani karmani mai sanyasya matpara, me as a supreme. So me means what? The word, he has some qualities, right? So is it qualities as one person or the entire universe? That he doesn't clearly say, but you will know that from the 9th shloka. Ekarupa Saguna Ishvara, that you will know from that. But so 6, 7, and 8 are Anekarupa Saguna Ishvara Bhakti. So this is the second meditation of God with attributes, Saguna Ishvara Upasana, and this refers to Vishwarupa, the cosmic form of the God, and that's kind of hidden. Saguna Ishvara refers to the God with a cosmic form. Saguna Ishvara can be Ekarupa Ishvara or Vishwarupa Ishvara, but here we will soon see that this is the Vishwarupa Ishvara. Okay, this is the last 4, 6, 7, and 8. As I said, talk about the Vishwarupa Ishvara. Here he continues that. Mayyeva mana adastva mayi buddhim niveshaya nivaseshyasi mayyeva atha urtvam na samshayah. Mayi eva mana adastva. Fix your mind on adastva means fix your mind on me alone. Mayi buddhim niveshayah. Buddhi means intellect. Fix the intellect on me alone. Nivasishyasi mayeva. You will then, nivasishyasi means you will then dwell. So it means dwell. Nivasishyasi mayeva. Then you will dwell on me alone. There is no doubt about it. So fix your mind and the intellect. So mind refers to the pratyaya, the screen. So this is where you need practice from meditation. If your mind is wandering everywhere, the screen of the mind, if it has one form, that is dhyana, right? Pratya pratya ekathanatha dhyanam. That's the definition given by Patanjali. When the screen of the mind is still and same pattern, one frame to the next, that is called dhyana. Tata pratyaha ekathanata dhyana. When the contents of the screen of the mind is same from one frame to another, from 1 minute to the next, that is called dhyana. So when you fix your mind and the intellect, the discriminating intellect on me alone, you know that this is the best thing to do. There are other things, but this is the best thing. Then you will dwell in me alone. Atha urdhvam na samshaya. There is no doubt about it. Absolute. Na samshaya means there is no doubt. Okay. So now Vishwarupa Ishvara Upasana needs some knowledge as a prerequisite. Because to know, oh, this entire cosmic manifestation is the form, is God, is manifesting as the entire universe, requires some knowledge as a prerequisite. So if Vishwarupa Ishvara is not appealing to you, then Krishna says, don't bother, come down to the third rung of the ladder, which is Ekarupa Ishvara Upasana. Instead of taking the totality, come to a particular personal form of God, which is called Ishta Devata Upasana. So that is what is quoted in this shloka. This is mechanical meditation without the knowledge of the cosmic form of Ishvara. That is why it is called Abhyasa. It is just practice, just mechanical meditation. Abhyasa, Krishna gives the term Abhyasa Yoga. Atha chittam samadatum na shaknoshi mayi stiram abhyasa yogena tataha mamichaptum dhananjaya. If you are not able to fix your mind steadily on me, here on me refers to the cosmic form of me, tataha, then ata chittam samadatum na shaknoshi mai stiram. If you stiram means steady. If you're not able to steadily keep your mind, chittam, mind, samadatum, to fix, na shaknoshi means not possible. It's not possible for you to fix your mind steadily on me. Abhyasa yogena tataha, then abhyasa yogena mam ichaptum dhananjaya. Icha aptum means try to reach me, try to desire to reach me through abhyasa yoga, through abhyasa yogena. Vishwarupa Ishvara. So this is mechanical meditation. That's why it's called abhyasa yoga. Abhyasa means practice. So it's just mechanical practice meditation. So that is the third step of the ladder. From Jnana Yoga, pure knowledge of the Nirguna Brahman, to Saguna Ishvara Upasana as the cosmic form, to Abhyasa Yoga, meditation on God with attributes in the form of Ekarupa Ishvara. So it's all implied. So he says, if it's not possible to fix your mind on me, then me, you can attain me through Abhyasa Yoga. That is the mechanical meditation on God with attributes. It is not implied, it is not explicitly given, but you have to imply that this is what is meant by Abhyasa Yoga. So with this, we will stop the recording and we will do the chanting.